All right, let's see. Yes, I am on. I decided to ditch the computer and go straight to my cell phone. So let's see how this goes. Okay, hang on. I need to. There we go. Awesome. Sorry, guys. That took a few minutes for me to figure out. For some reason, my computer just was not letting me go live. Okay, here we go. Just tightening this up, setting myself up so that I can get this show on the road. So here we are back again with one of my favorite books, Money and the Law of Attraction. Amazing book, life-changing book, life-changing for me, and I'm sure that it has been life-changing for a lot of other people as well. I'm not reading the book here. I am just going to give you my perspective of the book. Jump in whenever you want to. If you want to ask me a question, you would be most welcome to just jump in and ask. And I will do my best to respond. Okay, so I think I've got my camera and everything set up. Here we go. Okay, so today we are starting where we left off last time, which was page 84. And page 84 starts with the heading, He Didn't Struggle for Money. And Abraham is actually telling a little story here. And the story is about this man and woman who were married to each other. And he never worked. He was always, he preferred to stay at home, never contributed to the income of the family. And in the end, she got tired of working hard and providing for everything, and she left him. After she left him, and I actually, this is in the book, but I actually remember listening to Abraham telling this story. And the question was asked not by the woman in the story, but by one of her friends who said, Abraham, after she left him, he inherited $1 million. And now he's not sharing this wealth with her. Isn't that unfair? And um, in the book, Abraham says that hard work, if you think that money will come to you from hard work, then it will always come to you from hard work. See, she had a mindset that money will come through hard work. And because he wasn't working, she didn't think that he should get any money at all. But the fact of the matter, which Abraham actually explained more so in the recording of the workshop, is that he had an attitude of ease about money. And so the universe always brought him the money that he wanted. At first, that money came to him through his wife. She provided for everything. And then once she went away and he did not have that source of money anymore, his vibration that he would always be abundant brought him the inheritance. But she could not participate in that inheritance because her attitude was one of hard work. So if she had stayed with him and her attitude had been one of hard work, he would not have received this inheritance to share with her. Because her attitude, her belief system was not going to allow it. Isn't that interesting? I thought it was hilarious, right? And I know that there are some cultures, some groups of people, some tribes, some some places in the world where that's just how things roll. Um, certain in a marriage, one half of the marriage does not contribute anything economically to the marriage, and the other part of the marriage makes all the contribution, the financial contribution towards the family. But it just depends on how you take it. If you think that, if you are resentful, if you resent your spouse or your partner and you think that they are not doing their share, then as far as you're concerned, they are not doing their share. And as far as you're concerned, your vibration is one of lack. And if you have lack going on in your vibration, then you will never be the recipient of ease and flow, because you're just not going to be able to allow it based on the way you think money should flow. So, isn't that interesting? I understood this long ago because I asked Abraham a question about children. You know how our children sometimes they want something and we really want them to have that thing that they want. Even when we don't have the money to provide for it, we still want our children to have the things that they're asking for. So the question is, Abraham, I want my child to have everything that they're asking for, but at the same time, I don't feel that I should be getting this because the timing is just off. I don't think I have enough money in the bank, or I'm going to have to put this on my credit card, and I really don't want to do something like that. So, how should I deal with it? And the answer is that we should not see ourselves as the source of all, um, of being able to satisfy all the needs of our children. Because if we believe in law of attraction, then the thing is, source will look after our children. What they want will come to them. It may not come to them from us, it may come through any other means. And so this was a lesson I learned very early, that if it does not feel good, if I don't think I have the money for it, I should not put it on a credit card just because my son or my daughter wants something. It should be okay for me to say, I can't do this for you just now, but I am sure that a way for it to happen will come about. So I'm reminded of that in this scenario here, because a lot of us see one source for the money that comes into our life. We feel that, we should only get money through this one person who is providing for us. We will only get money if um, our um, our spouse provides for it, or we will only get money if our parents provide for it. So, um, so the thing about that is, no, it doesn't work like that, right? So it does not work like that, and we should be okay with it. We have to be okay with that. So in this example where this man, where he was just an allower of abundance, it didn't matter where the abundance came from. It came from his wife first, and then he inherited $1 million. So he was allowing his abundance, whereas she was not. And an important thing that Abraham says over here is, you cannot find a happy ending to an unhappy journey. That defies law. And I want to point out to you that when you think you're working hard, when you think you're sacrificing yourself, when you think you're efforting, it's an unhappy journey. Because when you have fun with your work, when you just enjoy it, it doesn't feel like work. You don't feel as if your work is taking you away from other things that you want to do in that same space of time. Your work is so much fun. So, in that case, you're not efforting. But if you are efforting, you've got to stop and ask yourself, why? does this feel like effort? How can I change this so that it no longer feels like effort? Okay, so I'm just taking a look. Okay, so somebody post a message. Manisha, you are here. Do you have both picture and audio? Can you just post a comment to let me know, because I see that I'm live, but I'm not seeing any comments come through, and I'm not sure why that is. Is it because you are not commenting? Oh, okay. I'm just going to keep going. So then Abraham goes on to say, and this woman said, all right, fantastic. Thank you, Moni. Hi, Sunny. Nice to see you here. So then this woman goes on in the story that I'm telling you, and the woman says, but that's not fair. It's not fair. And Abraham answers, well, it, it might not seem fair. It might not see as being justice, but law of attraction is not about right or wrong. Law of attraction is about vibration, and it is always fair. It may not feel just because we all of us want good things. And this woman who provided for her husband for so many years felt that she deserved more. And she did deserve more. But her vibration was not sending that message into the universe. So the universe will always match our vibration. If that is a vibration of abundance, then we will get abundance back. And if that is a vibration of lack, then we will get lack back. And in this case, her vibration was always one of lack, because she would always look at him and say, he's not working. Why do I always have to be the one who's working? Why do I always have to work hard? And so she was resenting. And resentment is not a positive emotion. Resentment for anything or anyone brings us down the emotional scale. And that resentment then will bring us lack of abundance. It will make it hard for us to find the abundance that we are looking for. The other thing that comes out of this story is that if we expect that money can only come through hard work, then money will only come through hard work. If our children, so this is why I tried to teach my children not to expect me to be the only source through which things that they want will come to them, but to be open that what they want will come. I remember when my daughter was very little, I think she was maybe 6 or 7 years old. She wanted, I forget what they were called, a Walkman, I think, a Walkman. And I couldn't get her a Walkman. I didn't have the financial flexibility to be able to get her one, so I said no. And you know what she did? I didn't even know that she did this. She entered uh, um, some sort of a quiz or something, and her gift for entering and winning, I don't remember if it was a quiz or if it was a game or something, but the prize at the end was a Walkman, and she won it. And 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 then i I had the opportunity to demonstrate to her that all the things that she wants can come to her, not have to come through me, but can come in any other way. And so that's the important lesson that Abraham is trying to teach us over here. Okay, so there is justice. So this is very important, because a lot of times people say, well, that murderer or that criminal, that person did all these things, is God going to forgive this person? And why should they be receiving any good things in life? And the thing about that is that source, if somebody changes their vibration overnight, and wake up with a new vibration, the results that they will get from life will be completely different. So, if that person who did a criminal deed, what we regard as committing a criminal act, and they woke up with a completely different vibration, because you see, anyone who commits a crime commits it from a very low place on the emotional scale. No crime is committed from the top of the emotional scale. So, if somebody wakes up at a high level and they are able to forgive themselves and put the past behind them, then they clean up their vibration, and the universe will respond to the new vibration that they have going on. So, yes, it will seem to other people who are looking at them that this person committed all these deeds that should be punishable. Why are they not being punished? And the answer is, it doesn't matter what you think. What matters is the vibration that that person is sending out into the universe. And conversely, things, people who get away, so to speak, with a lot of behavior that is inappropriate, get caught one day. Why is that? Because they keep getting away from with it, because they are able to wake up with a good vibration. But either something triggers it, or they keep thinking, there's this voice inside their head that says you're doing something wrong. In the end, that voice catches up with them and their vibration changes, and that is when they get caught. So that's why a lot of people for many years get away with a lot of stuff that catches up with them in the end. All right. So then Abraham says, right at the bottom of page 85, if you believe that you must work hard in order to deserve the money that comes to you, then money cannot come to you unless you do work hard. Because our beliefs form the framework within which we live our life. Our beliefs form the framework. We cannot live our life outside this fence that our beliefs have made around us. So if we want to get out of this paddock, we need to change the belief. When we change the belief, a door opens. And now we can go out of this pasture. Right? So that's the thing. What happens with a lot of people who discover law of attraction is that they discover that everything is about belief systems and thoughts. And so what they do is they start thinking, well, it should be possible for me because everything is possible. So I should be able to spend as much money as I like because the universe is going to refill my coffers. But they forget that if their own belief system is that they need to work hard in order to fill those coffers, then the universe cannot fill them for them unless they give up that belief first. I have beautiful friends who keep looking for their life purpose. They keep looking for that one thing that they are going to do that is going to bring them abundance and joy and money and all sorts of other types of satisfaction. And they keep thinking that this is something that they have to go looking for, and they don't relax. They keep looking. Where is it? How is it going to happen? I don't have any talents, they say. I don't know what I can do. It's hard. How am I going to get out there? I've never done business before, or I have been out of the job market for so many years. Who's going to hire me? And all those beliefs they form the fence around them. As long as they keep saying those kinds of things to themselves, they cannot find a way outside this fence that they've got around themselves. So that's what makes it important for us to change our beliefs. That is why it's so important to give up those beliefs and incorporate new beliefs. But until we start believing in that new belief, so when you say, my new belief is all things are possible, do you really believe that all things are possible? Do you really? And if the answer is yes, awesome. But if the answer is no, then you haven't really changed the belief. And if you haven't really changed the belief, then your life going forward is going to look like your life looked in the past. Nothing has changed because you haven't changed the belief. You've changed the words you're offering, you've changed your talk, but you haven't changed what's going on inside you. You haven't changed what your operating system is. Unless you change the operating system, you cannot start using new software that needs a different operating system, right? Okay, so let's keep moving. There's so much here. Okay, so Abraham then says on the next page, you simply cannot offer negative thought about things that you desire and then make up for it with action or hard work. I love these words. I'm going to read the whole paragraph for you because this is a really important paragraph. Financial success or any other kind of success does not require hard work or action, but it does require alignment of thought. You simply cannot offer negative thought about things that you desire and then make up for it with action or hard work. When you learn to direct your own thoughts, you will discover the true leverage of energy alignment. And isn't that beautiful? So we cannot make up for negative beliefs with hard work. And this is the answer. This is the answer to a lot of the questions that I used to ask when I didn't understand law of attraction. I used to look around me and I used to, because I learned those values. I learned that hard work pays off. That's what my parents taught me. But I used to see them work hard and nothing came out of it. And then I went to work and I worked really hard and didn't have as much to show for it as other people. So it was confusing to me. I was like, how can this be? Some people are lazy, yet they have more money than I do. So how is this fair? But it is fair because I was just living my life within the confines of my belief system. And my belief system said, you have to work really, 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 really hard in order for good things to happen. Now I know better. I know that the real formula is to have fun. And when you're having fun, good things happen. Okay, moving along, just checking my messages. Okay, fantastic. So then, a very important subject. This is something that I had to learn the hard way. Is spending money comfortable? Again, Abraham is telling a story. And the story is about a woman who works hard and saves, and she is able to amass quite a lot of wealth by saving. But when she goes to, now she's nearing retirement, and she comes to an Abraham workshop, and her question is, Abraham, I'm scared of retiring because I am afraid of using this money that I've amassed because I feel it may not last. And so she didn't want to spend all this money. And if she didn't spend the money, then she couldn't retire, right? So Abraham said that it is certainly understandable that when you believe that your money is coming to you because of the action. So you see, she was working and she wanted to retire. So if she believed that the money was coming to her from the action that she was offering, and you also believe that you will not always be able to offer that action, you would want to hold on to your money and spend it sparingly to make it last. And that in that there is a vibration of lack of abundance. And that's what Abraham is telling her. However, that feeling of shortage slows the process of more money flowing into your experience. So, and then Abraham goes on to explain that any action taken amidst negative emotion is never a good idea. And then they go on to explain that, sometimes people try to fill the void inside them with stuff. I'm going to buy this and take it home, and then I'll feel good. I've heard women say, I'm not feeling good, so I'm going to go on a shopping spree. If I buy a new dress, then I'll feel better. So when we do things like that, what we are doing is we are perpetuating the negativity. It's not because getting that one thing, if you already have money problems, if money is not free flowing in your life, and you say, okay, I'm going to go buy a new dress and then I'm going to feel better, but you're not going to feel better when you get your credit card bill. So that action defeats the purpose for which that action was taken. The action was taken in order to feel good. And a lot of people, when they discover law of attraction, like I said before, they think that money is just going to come now because I'm just going to start saying, oh yes, universe, bring me $1 million and the $1 million will come. And then they find out that it does not work like that, because if you only if the only thing that you've changed is the words that you're offering, then, and you haven't really changed what you believe, then your reality cannot change. And this is why affirmations don't work. Affirmation is just a bunch of words. Unless you shift the belief that that affirmation is all about, it is not going to work. It's not going to give you the foundation that you need for the change in behavior that you're looking for. So, now Abraham goes into a really interesting topic here, because they talk about age, and they apply this shortageness of money consciousness to age. Because what they're talking about is we've got this thing about how old we are, and every birthday that we have now got one less year to live life. And that also is shortage consciousness. And then Abraham goes on to explain that people who are older feel that they don't have enough time to turn things around. But that is not true. Because when you shift your vibration, you can change everything almost overnight. You can change things really quickly. And who cares how old you are if you're having fun, right? So that shortage consciousness applies to more than just money. It applies to, it can apply to anything. And certainly for all of us, when we celebrate our birthday, the thing to look at is the number of amazing years that we've had and the amazing memories. And we know that because we talk about that. But then again, we say, oh no, another birthday. Now I'm older. I should have done this. I'm too old for it now. Which means that we are offering the lip service that says age doesn't matter, but we haven't changed the belief. And if you haven't changed your belief, then your reality shows it. Because these things hold us back and they keep us from accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish in life. And then Abraham gives their favorite analogy of, do you wake up in the morning and go and stand outside and breathe in all the air for to last you for the whole day? No, you don't. And so Abraham recommends that we have the same sort of attitude towards money as well. That there is abundance in the universe. And yes, Lucienne, it is about celebrating all those, um, uh, the memories and the good times, and not looking at age. Age is not a detriment, because there's so many people who continue. Look at Esther and Jerry Hicks having productive, fulfilling, happy lives right to the end, right? And we can do that too. They're not any more special than you or me. So many people these days have full lives. People don't even want to retire when they're 60, 65. No longer. They want to get out of the house and do things. All right. So then Abraham is saying these beautiful words. Abundance. Okay. We want you to understand that those experiences of shortage are not because abundance is not available, but because it is being disallowed. We disallow the abundance that is out there, and all we have to do is to turn things around inside. Let go those negative beliefs. And you know what? We can work on those negative beliefs, or we can just say, I'm not going to live my life the way I was living it before. I give up all those beliefs that no longer serve me, and I adopt all those beliefs that do serve me. So when you say that I want ease and flow with money, money flows easily into my life. When you say those words out aloud, there will be a little voice inside you that either says, yes, 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 that's awesome. Or that little voice will say, liar, liar. If that voice inside you is saying that you are a liar, that means that you have not shifted your belief. And if you've not shifted the belief, then you cannot manifest differently from the way you were manifesting in the past. Okay, so, and then Abraham says there, the words that they often use, you cannot focus upon unwanted and receive wanted. So Abraham then has a set of words that they're suggesting that we use. And I'm going to read these to you. I want to feel good. I want to feel productive and expansive. My thoughts are the basis for the attraction of all things that I consider to be good, which includes enough money for my comfort and joy, which includes health and wonderful people around me who are stimulating and uplifting and exciting. Begin telling the story of your desire. Embellish your positive expectation by speculating with your good feeling. Wouldn't it be nice if? I absolutely love those words that Abraham offers. Wouldn't it be nice if? Because it takes away attachment. When we use those words, we reduce what Abraham calls attachment to the outcome. And when we reduce attachment to the outcome, now it's easier for us to manifest the things that we want to manifest. Okay, so I love those words. Those are some of my favorite words. Only good things come to me. So Abraham goes on, these are the things that they are recommending that this is how we should talk to ourselves in our heads. Only good things come to me while I don't have all of the answers and while I don't know all of the steps and I can't identify all of the doors that will open for me. I know that as I move through time and space, the path will be obvious to me. I know I will be able to figure it out as I go along. The better it gets, the better it gets. So then, that's the end of that discussion. Moving along, how to change my point of attraction is the next heading. And so sometimes people worry that they have been telling the story of what they do not want for such a long time that they now do not have the time left in their lives to make up for all of those years of focusing upon the shortage of money, but they have no cause for worry. This is what I was talking to you about before when we were discussing age. because we can shift our vibration very quickly, and just a tiny little bit of vibration shifting causes a huge big shift in terms of what happens next. And Abraham goes on to say the only reason it may seem like some negative thinking that you picked up many years ago is having an impact on your life now is because you've been continuing the negative train of thoughts or beliefs through all of those years. A belief is only a thought you continue to think. A belief is nothing more than a chronic pattern of thought. And you have the ability, if you try even a little bit, to begin a new pattern, to tell a new story. And that, my friends, is the most important thing of all. We can make the conscious decision to start telling a new story. And in the beginning, it will feel unfamiliar. It's like taking a new route to work. In the beginning, you look for all the road signs, you're looking at where the street signs change and you have to turn. But after a while, you get used to that route. And then you don't have to look at the street signs to know where you have to turn. You just know where you have to turn, right? All right, let's see this comment that just came through. From Div, how do I manage my money belief that are not universal but rather specific? I feel money comes easy to me from my work, but with my investment, I do not feel the same. It's probably because you've noticed before and accepted that business is hard, that there's a risk in doing business. And it's not uncommon for people who strike it out on their own to think so. It's something that we learn and we are taught, even the business textbooks teach us that there's risk in doing business and there's safety in having a job. The safety in having a job is that you get that regular paycheck. And when people talk about business, they talk about, oh, I don't know how people will come and whether we'll have enough clients and how this will work out and will it be profitable and do I have all the skills to make this work. And with those kinds of beliefs, you cannot have the same success that those people can have whose thinking is different, and their thinking is, oh my god, I have this amazing, I'm so amazing. First of all, I'm so amazing, why wouldn't people buy from me? And my product is just out of this world. That's why they say you have to believe in your product. Even when you work for an employer, think about it. When you work for an employer and you don't believe in the policies and the way your employer does business, you lose faith in the employer. You don't stay there for very long. And if you do stay there, you are miserable. So the same thing applies. If you push back against your employer, you won't be in that job for very long. The rules are the same. The rules for job, for work are the same as the rules for business. Even at a job, have you noticed that some people don't work hard and get a lot of promotions, and other people work extremely hard and don't make as much progress up the ranks? And then they step back and they say, oh, there was favoritism there. That person got selected for that job. I was better qualified. I deserved that job. So you see, that's when you say things like that or you think things like that, that's where your negative beliefs come up. If you don't think positively about yourself or your employer, if you think that there's favoritism going on, those are all negative beliefs. A belief is just a thought that you think about a situation. That is a belief. Will this business take off? See, soon as you say these words, will this business take off? You have already incorporated doubt into the scenario. And when you've got doubt going on, what is doubt? Doubt is hoping for better, but fearing the worst. Hoping for better, but fearing the worst. I hope for the best, but what if it doesn't happen? that doubt splits your energy. The way to do business is to go in and say, there is no way this is not going to be successful. This is absolutely going to be successful. Not only is this going to be successful, it is going to explode. It's going to be so amazing. The other thing is, people put themselves under a lot of stress in business. Some people do, not everyone does this, but some people put themselves under a lot of stress because of their business, because they take a business idea that was fun. Giving birth to it was fun. They enjoyed the idea of it. But then they suck the joy right out of it by introducing fear. Because now they're like, oh, I borrowed money to start this business. Will I ever be able to repay that loan? Or I've got all these monthly expenses that I need to meet. Am I going to be able to meet these expenses? And if you have that kind of a vibration going on, then you are the one who is hurting the business. So you have to find ways when those thoughts come up. That's what the 4-step process that I teach is all about. The 4-step process is when that kind of a thought comes up, you've got to shift the vibration of it. You've got to prove to your logic, because that is the logical mind that is telling you all the pros and cons. It's the logical mind that worries. The heart does not worry, because the heart knows that all is well. The mind worries. So we don't have to convince our heart. We have to convince our mind that everything can be all right. Because why? Because all things that I want are possible. See, if you worry about your business, then you don't really believe that all things are possible. And in order for you to start believing in those words, you have to find the evidence that those words are true. It doesn't matter what stage a business is in, you can turn it around. I know people who have jumped into businesses without doing any kind of feasibility or anything, and those businesses have exploded because they never looked at the downside. They just went with it. But if you are one of those people who feels that there is a downside, then don't bite off more than you can chew. When we bite off more than we can chew, we are stepping outside our comfort zone. That means we haven't changed our beliefs. We've taken on more than is comfortable. Why is it more than what is comfortable? Because we haven't changed the underlying beliefs. When we change the beliefs, then that burden does not feel like a burden anymore. It feels easy and fun and light and happy. So it all starts in your thoughts, and there is no situation that you cannot turn around if you change the way you think about it. And I can tell you that I know that that is true, because I've come away from it from like 24 hours before bankruptcy. Complete turnaround. So I know that it is possible. And I know that it is not easy to shift your beliefs. But I also know that the rewards of making that shift are huge. Absolutely huge. Okay. So I hope that that answers that question. And I'm just going to see if there are any. Okay, so I'm understanding the word but is what we have to avoid. Yes, Gigi, it is the word but that we have to avoid because fear follows. Yes, 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 you are so right. You are so absolutely right. But, and Abraham says it with so much emphasis, but it's the but. And we know that. We know that. So much research has been done. So many people teach. Eliminate the but. There is no but if you believe. And here's the thing, if the but comes up naturally, that means that there is a belief there that needs to be worked on. That but that pops up and the words that follow it, we need to do something about those words. Because Gigi, the biggest thing is to start pulling back the but and not making the statement that follows. But you haven't shifted the belief. You just haven't spoken it, but it's still there. It still has roots. It still has roots and it is still controlling you. It still has you in this box. In order to find a way out of the box, you've got to break down that belief. Because if you try and jump out of the box without changing the beliefs, you will get hurt. So when I'm explaining this to people who have investments, etc., I tell them this very important thing. It is a roller coaster. And if you were going to, here we call it Canada's Wonderland, if you were going to Wonderland and you got onto this, you saw this massive roller coaster and you said, I'm going to give this a go. Remember, you cannot jump off the roller coaster. You've got to complete the ride. And I say this to you because the same concept applies. If you're afraid of that roller coaster and you know you're going to be sick and you know that there's something in you that says, no, then don't go. Only go if you look at that roller coaster and you say, yes, I can't wait for this ride. It's going to be so much fun. See? That's the difference between me and my kids. I look at the roller coaster and I say, nobody's going to drag me onto that thing. And both my children, they look at the roller coaster and they say, can we? Right? So the thing is, don't do anything that you feel afraid of. Because if you are feeling fear, that means you have not shifted your vibration. You have not changed your belief system. You cannot take an action. You cannot do things that defy your belief system. Because when you do that, it is like jumping off the roller coaster. And that's where Abraham uses that analogy of having jumped out of the aircraft without a parachute. Now you have to wait for the landing, right? So, because you can't suck yourself back into the aircraft. So don't jump. That's the moral of the story. The moral of the story, which I don't think Abraham ever says that, is if you don't have a parachute, don't jump. Stay in the aircraft until you get a parachute and then jump, and then you will enjoy the ride, right? So, but unfortunately, as you know, I've done this and so many other people do it as well, is we don't know any better, and so we do make the jump without the parachute, or we do get on that roller coaster even though we are afraid, only because we didn't know better. But even when you're on that roller coaster, you can change things. You can deal with that roller coaster when you're there. You can distract your attention from the ride and you can start looking at the landscape. You can find things to appreciate. You can look at the faces of the other people who are also on the ride with you and appreciate how much fun they're having. You can appreciate how safe you feel with all the harnesses that you're wearing. And so even in the midst of feeling that fear, you can find a place that feels better. And if you can find a place that feels better, you can complete the ride without anything bad happening, right? So changing our vibration, shifting our beliefs telling ourselves that the ride will come to an end and I will be okay because I'm wearing all these harnesses. I'm going to be fine. Why don't I have fun? Everyone else is having fun. I can have fun too. Right? That's what it's all about. It's about what we say to ourselves in here and creating that heart and mind alignment. Because our heart will always, always, always pull us towards our desires. But the mind refuses to go because the mind sees all the rocks. So it's like we want something and it's on this hill and we are on this hill. And the heart is saying, come on, let's do this jump. And the mind says, look at all the rocks. We might fall and hurt ourselves. So the mind shuts down and does not let us go. So if that is the case, then we have to find a way of saying that the rocks don't matter. And there's so many things that we can say. So what if I land on the rocks? They don't look very sharp. They're kind of smooth. I can walk. I can still get there. It's all about the self-talk. Or you can say, I think I can do this jump. I know if I take a long enough run that I can have the momentum to make the jump without ever falling on the rocks. And you can tell yourself, I've fallen on the rocks before, and it wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be the end of the world, but it really wasn't the end of the world. And I can tell you that I'm that person who has fallen on the rocks. And I can tell you, it's not that bad. The fear of the rocks is worse than the rocks themselves. Okay? It's just like the fear of the dentist is worse than the actual extraction. Okay. All right. So then Abraham is in this chapter, Abraham is talking again about the $100 exercise where you carry $100 in your purse, you don't spend it, but feeling the $100 always makes you feel that you have the money to buy the things that are before you, but you don't actually do it. You just congratulate yourself for having the ability to do so. And then next they talk about visualization, and they talk about you can easily change your vibrational point of attraction by visualizing the lifestyle you desire and holding your attention upon those images until you begin to feel relief, which will indicate that a true vibrational shift has occurred. So visualization is a process that works better when you're higher up on the emotional scale because you can get specific from there. If you're low down on the emotional scale, then the only visualization that makes sense is to be general. And what I mean by that is to tell yourself, it doesn't matter what I want just now. I'm just going to imagine myself a year out or 2 years out, just telling myself how happy I am because I have everything. Oops. I have everything that I want. So, if you don't know where you are on the emotional scale, it is better to stay general. And one of the easy ways to find out where you are on the emotional scale is just to look at how your life is going and ask yourself, are most things in my life going the way I want them to? And if the answer is yes, then you're probably high up on the emotional scale. You're above the worry line. But if the answer is no, then you're probably below the worry line and you should stay general in your visualization. Okay, then the next heading is my standards are mine to set. And this is important because sometimes we want other people to see the evidence of our abundance and appreciate it. And that never works. So let's just read what Abraham is saying. Sometimes from an awareness of shortage of money, you think that you want everything that you see. Oh, they're talking about something different. So what they're talking about is this impulse, impulse buying. A lot of people have this impulse buying and then they have to go back and return stuff. Or worse, they keep it and then the credit card bill comes in and then they regret it. Abraham is explaining over here that sometimes when you have a shortage of money, you start craving things. You start craving things in the sense that you'll see someone, let's say someone has something beautiful. Maybe it's a handbag, maybe it's a car. They have this thing that is beautiful and you want that thing because you look at that person and you say, wow, I wish I could have that. And then you actually go and you buy it. You buy it because there's this void inside that you think this thing is going to make you happy. And a lot of times people do that. They purchase things that they think will make them happy. But that's not how law of attraction works, because happiness comes within. And if you were already happy and now you went and bought that thing, your happiness would be magnified manyfold. And generally speaking, we do it the reverse. I want that thing. I must have it. And you kind of forget everything else that's going on in your life at that time. You kind of forget to ask yourself the question, am I already happy and I want this thing from a place of already being happy? Or am I not so happy and I think having this thing is going to make me happy? So what comes first, the chicken or the egg, the cart or the horse, right? So Abraham says, but that craving to spend money under those conditions is really a false signal, for it is not coming from a real desire to have those things. It's coming from the feeling that there's a void inside that you want to fill. So Abraham says, buying one more thing and bringing it home will not satisfy that craving, for what you are really feeling is a void that can only be filled by coming into vibrational alignment with who you really are. You are currently feeling insecure when who you really are is someone who is absolutely secure. And that's the thing, to ask ourselves, are we feeling secure? Because if we don't feel secure, then we have work to do. What is the work we need to do? Well, if a negative belief comes up, we need to work it out of our system. But the work we can do very simply is to appreciate whatever is before us, meditate and appreciate. And just look for things that we can appreciate that feel good. And the more we distract our attention from our own life, especially money, the better we will feel, and the more money will start coming in through just surprising ways that you never even knew were possible. And then Abraham says, do not let others set the standards about how much money you should have or about what you should do with it, for you are the only one who could ever accurately define that. And we find that there are people who are happy who live in extremely poor circumstances, in extremely poor countries. And then we have those parents who tell their children, I expected more from you. What are you doing? You have wasted your life. Don't listen to that. Nobody can tell you whether you wasted your life, because you could pick it up and align, and in a very short space of time, you could do so much more than people accomplish in a whole lifetime. Right? I've written 12 books. In 9 years, I've written 12 books. How's that? Not even 9 years, 8.5 years, I've written 12 books. Most people take way more time than that to write a book, right? Because when you are aligned, it just flows out of you. You can't stop it. It comes so quickly and it surprises people who are around you. They're like, really? You did this and it's done already? How did you do that? And that's what we want. So we should not allow anyone, not allow or, you know what? We can't stop people from saying what they're saying or thinking what they're thinking, but what we can do is we can be like a duck and let it fall off our feathers. They can say whatever they want. I don't have to absorb it. I don't have to let it in because what they think about me is none of my business. Dr. Wayne Dyer's beautiful, amazing words that I absolutely love and adore him for. What someone thinks of you is none of your business. Okay, because when you make it your business, then you make yourself unhappy. And why would you want to do that, right? Come into alignment with who you really are and allow the things that life has helped you to know that you want to flow into your experience to emerge. All right. Now, the next section is, does saving for security work? And yeah, I think I am going to do this because we've reached the end of this section. So if I finish this next little part, then next time we can start a new section altogether. So we are going a little bit over my time commitment, but if you guys are okay with it, then I'm okay with it. All right. Does saving for security work? A man related to us that he once had a teacher who told him to set money aside for security was the same as planning for disaster. And in fact, the very act of trying to feel more secure would actually lead to more insecurity because it would attract unwanted disaster. So this now relates back to what I was talking to you about your comfort zone, right? For some people, yes, it is true that if you have this fear inside you of insecurity, then you should prepare to put money aside so that then that fear will go away because you look at your situation and you say, it's okay. I can handle whatever comes my way because I've prepared for it. That's what Abraham is talking about here. Abraham says he wanted to know if that philosophy fit in with our teachings about law of attraction. It is absolutely possible to briefly consider something unwanted occurring in the future, such as a financial situation that makes you feel insecure as you consider it, which could cause you then to consider the financial stability that you desire. So, if you feel that there's a fear inside you, absolutely deal with the fear. And you can deal with the fear by preparing for the untoward. But if you don't go overboard with it, then that should not happen. So the thing is to look after the fear, deal with it, and then let it be. I remember Jerry once asked Abraham this question: should we buy life insurance? And Abraham's response was, well, if you think that life insurance is the solution to a problem that might occur, then do it and then forget about it. Because if you keep thinking about it, now you are asking for trouble. So don't ask for trouble by continuing to think about what could go wrong. And that's kind of what they're talking about over here. So Abraham says, and these words are so important. I absolutely love these words. The action of saving money or investing in assets in and of itself is neither positive or negative. You cannot get to a place of security from an insecure footing. How lovely is that, right? So, even for those people who save money, if their vibration is off, if they are fearful, they can lose the money. And those people who don't feel fear can inherit money, in as we saw in our previous example. And then Abraham goes to another topic that is really important. And they say that some say you should not want money at all because the desire for money is materialistic and not spiritual. However, manifesting is the way that we tell whether or not we are aligned with that which we call God. Alignment, manifestation, is an indicator that tells us whether or not we're aligned with Source. And money is a manifestation. So, if money is a manifestation that tells us whether or not we're aligned with that which we call Source, Universe, God, then how can that be a bad thing, right? The only reason people say things like that is from a place of lack, because they want to make themselves feel better for not having enough. You cannot separate yourself from the aspect of you that is spiritual, is what Abraham says. And that brings me to the end of this section in the book, Money and Law of Attraction. I think the next section is about telling a new story, but I already covered that last time, remember? So I'm not going to go back and do that again. Abraham ends this section by saying something very important that maybe we should all have tattooed over here, and that is, what is has no bearing on what is coming. Our next section is about maintaining physical well being. So, that is the section that we will study next time when we meet. All right? All right, folks, that's it for me for now. If you don't have any questions or comments, we will close the call. Take care, everyone. I'm going to wait for a minute and see if any question comes up. And if there are no questions, we can close. All right. I don't see any questions coming. Thank you for being here, Lucianne, Gigi, Monisha, and I will see you all next week. Take care in the meantime. Bye for now. How do I win the lotto? By thinking that you can win the lotto. By telling yourself things like, if other people can win, I can win too. Right? That's how you win. But if you have this belief that says, the odds are against me, then you can't win. Right? Okay, so I haven't done this on my phone before and I don't know how to put this off. How about that? All right, let's see. How can I do this? How do I put this off? Yes, I found the button. All right.